Welcome back to another episode of the Breadwinner Energy podcast. Hello. I just wrapped up a 5-day challenge inside of my private class pass, and it was called Get Clients Now Challenge, and it was so fun. We had over 51 people inside the Slack channel, as well as over 600 people signed up to come to this challenge, and it was an absolute blast. Inside of this 5-day challenge, I covered everything from mindset to stepping into your power and being your most authentic self, to finding your it factor in your business, creating an aligned life, an aligned offer schedule, choosing money goals that are for you and make sense for you and align with the life you want to live, and not just choosing money goals because they are a pretty number or what everyone else is talking about, like 10K months and 6 figures, but getting down to the number that you want and need based on your life, down to the penny. We also talked about building your 6-figure scalable offer, being very clear on your who, what, how, your framework, your process, and the results that you get your clients. And through this journey of 5 days together, what I found was most of you have done this work. And when I say done the work, it means you've heard about niching down and you've heard about choosing who you help and how you help them, but never in this way that I teach it, which then when you go to market and sell and create content, you will feel stuck because it's not clear. You are not clear in who and how to talk to them. You're not clear on your process and the person that you're helping, the process that they want and need, and how to articulate your process. And if your process is even simple and clear enough, and promising results. And we had so many mind-blowing breakthroughs just from that alone, because I had so many students tell me, I thought I had already done this work, or I thought my offer was ready, or I thought this, and come to find out their pricing wasn't in alignment. They have a goal of 10K months or 8K months, but their offer was so far away and pricing from that they would have needed 200 clients a month, which we know that you're not getting 200 clients a month. So your money goals and your offers are not in alignment, and the way that you think about your offer and feel about your offer and talk about or lack of talk about your offer because you're not confident in it or your process created so much drama, which got in the way of their marketing and selling and making money. And I broke this down for them very, very simply over 5 days. So I'm going to give you a little sneak peek, and you get to tune in to a little bit of this challenge. But if you want access to the entire challenge, the 5+ hours of replays, if you want access to our future challenges, our monthly classes, master classes challenges, click the link below and grab your class pass. Now, your class pass is $47 a month. It's a membership. It gives you not only the behind the scenes, Breadwinner behind the scenes private podcast where I deep dive into my own business. I even created our mastermind live in that podcast. I sat down and talked out my process for building my own mastermind and my own thoughts around it, and deciding the price and deciding all the things for it live on this private podcast. But I also talk about motherhood, my schedule, my life. I break down everything behind the scenes in this podcast, but you're also going to get our community Slack channel where you can come in and chat with your people in the industry. You're also going to get replays to that challenge, as well as our January masterclass. And you're going to get a class pass where you get to join me live every month for a masterclass or a challenge or event, whatever we decide to host. And you get to come to those live every single month. So you're going to click the link below, get your class pass so that you never miss one of these challenges or events. You can watch the 5-hour replay from Get Clients Now challenge I hosted last week, as well as behind the scenes with my private podcast. All right, let's tune in. Focusing on your future. So many people want to skip this step and they're like, let me get to the money, right? Or they want to skip talking about your offer, talking about your ideal client, talking about your niche, talking about your framework, the inner workings of your offer. So when people want to skip it, they're like, I already have an offer. I already have a price. I already have a niche. And then when they come into coach school, we realize their offer doesn't align with their goals. It doesn't align with their future. It doesn't align with the life they want to live. We also realize they have a lot of mindset blocks and money blocks, which then comes into sales conversations, or comes into when you show up online, or you don't even know how to show up online. So you're not showing up at all and you're hiding behind the scenes. So you cannot skip steps. You cannot skip days and be like, I already know this. If you knew it and you were implementing it, you would have clients and you would not be here. And that's a hill I will die on. Okay. So you cannot skip the steps. Come every single day, be open to learning, be open to learning something new, and be open to implementing something new. Okay. For first of all, thanks for coming live. I know that coming live to events and spending an hour with someone and spending an hour online, and for a lot of you, you're probably moms or wives or you have 9 to 5s and you're really busy. So first and foremost, thank you for being here. I really, really appreciate it. But be present. Try to immerse yourself in the learning and in the Slack channel because I will be in there all week engaging with you guys. Feel free to ask questions in there too. If anything, as we're working through it, it comes up, work through it this week. Inside my programs and inside my events, this is a big component that I will live on is get coached at the same time you're learning. So learn it, implement it, get coached on it. Learn it, implement it, get coached on it. Don't just consume it and then be like, that's great, and then go on about your way thinking you're going to consume it. So many times we don't, or when we go to consume it, we have questions, we have mind drama, and then we just don't do it, or we fall off the wagon because we are not actually showing up and asking questions. So as things come up this week, make sure that you're asking questions, whether that's in the chat, whether that is in the Slack group. Also, blow up the chat as I'm talking, post them in chat. If you have questions, post them. The more, the merrier. I love going back and forth with you guys. It's so much fun. So true. This week I'm committed to action, not just thinking. Ooh, that's so good. I love it. Yes. Taking action. Which also brings me to my next point, which is who am I? For some of you, you have no idea who I am. You've just met me. You've just seen my face for the first time ever live. Hello, I'm Tay Daniels. I started my very, very first business as a virtual assistant in 2016. I quit my 9 to 5 with $100 in my bank account and 7 months pregnant. I was married to somebody in the military. I was working at a mental health hospital, and I knew not only did I not want to send my daughter to daycare, I literally could not afford it. So I knew I had to quit my 9 to 5 and do something. And I just wanted to be at home with my daughter. So every day at my 9 to 5, my office job, I would search all day on the computer, like, what can I do from home? What can I do from home? And virtual assisting back then wasn't as popular as it is now. And I saw it and I was like, I'm just going to start my own virtual assistant business. Absolutely insane. I had dropped out of college. I had no degree. I had no experience. I had wrecked credit at the age of 23 years old. I had nothing that should have told me be a business owner, but I did it. In 2018, I went through a divorce. I left my then husband, who was mentally and physically abusive, and I then was broke. I had my business, but it wasn't enough to be a single mom and put a roof over my head. So I went and applied for a 9 to 5, and I went through 3 rounds of interviews, and I lost to another candidate who had a degree, even though her degree had nothing to do with the 9 to 5, and I was technically more qualified for the position based on my life experience. That job would have made me $40,000 a year, and that no was the best thing that ever happened to me because I then went on and took my business into an agency. I decided to niche down in that moment to wedding professionals because I had wanted to be an event planner my whole life, and outside of wanting to also be a hairstylist. And I niched down, and in 6 months, I had a booked out virtual assistant agency. And 1 year later, I was asked to come speak on a stage in front of hundreds of wedding professionals. And I had never went live even on social media. Without hesitating, without thinking, I was like, yes, I will do it. And then after I got off that phone call, I had this pit in my stomach. Like, I'm really about to go on stage and talk to hundreds of women. And I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, I'm just little old me, 25 years old. And here I am just gonna show up on stage. That day changed my entire life. I had women asking me, can you coach me? Can you coach me? Can you coach me? And I was like, I'm not a coach. There's no way I can coach you, right? But again, I was like, sure, why not? I said yes. That started my coaching career. And I also, my students know this, but I was so nervous that I did drink one of those little wine shooters before I went on stage to calm the nerves. I now don't drink alcohol, but I did. And I don't regret it because it got me through that day. So then I went on to be a coach. I then became a certified life coach, and I've been a business coach full time since 2019 and have now made multiple 6 figures in both my agency and my coaching business. And I operate both today. So that is who I am. Those are my credentials. That's where I've come from. And if anything, I want you to look at this as proof of possibility. I grew up with a single mom. We lived in a trailer. We by no means had money. We weren't rich, right, by any stretch. I now make more than both of my parents, who are well off compared to where they used to be, but I still make more money than both of them. And so if you can look at that and say, if she can do it at 23, being broke, wrecked credit, being pregnant, and she can do it now making this, so can you.
So can you. No matter where you've come from, no matter what your life looks like today, you can change your life. You could absolutely change your life, but you have to believe that you can have this too. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Just reading the comments so I don't miss anything. You guys are the best. Your office normally looks pink. Your color, what happened to the pink? I used to seeing your signature color. What do you mean?
Isn't your office usually like a pink tone? I've seen you on calls in this same space and it's pink. Today it's just regular old cream, which is fine. I'm just not used to seeing you with cream behind you.
Like the walls? Are you talking about the walls?
The walls, the color, yeah.
So some of my recordings are from when I moved because I moved houses, but I have the same setup in my new office because I moved houses last February. But my old house, the walls I think were gray, but it was the look on the camera that made them pink because I didn't ever have pink walls. Although I would love to. But if we're thinking, I'm trying to think back because the house, my first house, my condo was totally pink. I had pink furniture. And then I met my now husband and he was like, yeah, this is not coming to our new house. We're not having pink couches and chairs. But my brand colors are pink, but like all this stuff is from other offices. That's funny. Some of you have like seen me for years and years, and some of you are like, I have no idea who you are. Oh, you guys are so sweet. You guys are just making my day today. Okay, let's first, I want to know more about you guys. So put in the chat if you are at it, number one, if you are at a 9 to 5 and you're trying to leave a 9 to 5, put a number two in the chat if you are full-time in your business, but you haven't made any sales. And put a number three in the chat if you have made sales, but they're inconsistent and you're making less than 50K a year. Lots of 9 to 5 people. Okay. That's cool to know. It's good to know. Two left 9 to 5 with no plan. Oh my gosh, Sue, I'm so proud of you. It's like equally terrifying, but also like, holy shit, I'm doing this. Like, I'm a business owner. I would think that about myself forever. It's like, even now, I'm like, I'm literally a business owner. Like, this is so weird. So now I'm like 30 years old. And now I think back to myself. I'm like, how am I 30 and own a business? And how do I even have 2 kids? Right? My oldest is 7, which is so wild. But I just had a baby last April. And even after I had her, I was like, I'm a mom. Like I haven't been a mom for 7 years to my oldest. I'm a real mom. I think that about my business. It's so crazy. Okay, number two. Okay, so a lot of you are either at a 9 to 5 or you have left your 9 to 5, but you aren't making sales yet. Now, I also want to know, put in the chat if this is you. You can drop me, emoji, whatever you want. If your goal in the next, let's say 2 years, is to have $100,000 business, is to be a 6-figure business owner. Is that your goal? Yes. Okay. Now I want to know in the chat, what would you do if you had 6 figures? Like, let's imagine you're making 6 figures. What are you going to do with that money? Why is the money important to you? I'm both corporate executive, but making money in the business, looking to replace the executive salary. Ooh, Kelsey. Okay, that's good to know too. Not leave my house when I don't want to. Literally goals. There's times I don't leave my house for like a whole week, and I'm like, I should probably see sunshine. Should probably seek outside air. I don't think 6 figures is that much, but I would work full time in my business. This is so interesting because before being a 6-figure business owner, I used to think 6 figures was everything. Like it was going to solve all my problems. It was so much money. And then now making multi 6 figures, yeah, I kind of have that same feeling. Like it's not that much. When you see what you put towards taxes, towards team, towards investments and savings and scaling, it's like, oh. Okay, corporate salary is our primary income. So have a specific number I need to replace. Okay. Help my husband retire early, create college funds for my girls, have more financial freedom. I love it. Okay, for those of you who said financial freedom and living a soft life, or living like not leaving your house, why? Like for what? Like what does that look like to you? We're gonna paint the picture here in a minute. Putting your bills on auto pay, that's such a good goal. Helping my husband retire early. Oh, I love that. College funds for my girls and more financial freedom. Okay, so financial freedom. I want you guys to reframe this. I heard this a long time ago and it's changed my whole perspective on this. Is financial freedom, what does that mean and look like to you? Because you can never be financially free unless you're like dead, you're in jail, right? Like we all will have bills and taxes always. But what if you thought of yourself as financially abundant? Like you didn't worry about money, you didn't stress about money. And most of the time that's what we mean, right? We don't actually mean financially free. So I'm curious, like how specific are you willing to get? Make sure my daughter gets a good education. I love it. Love, love, love. Okay. We're going to practice today Breadwinner Energy. So for some of you, you know exactly what Breadwinner Energy is. And for others, you have no idea because you just found me. Breadwinner Energy is my trademark, which I started the trademark process in 2021 to get that done. It finally got approved last year because the trademark office is taking entirely too long. But Breadwinner Energy came from me being a single mom, and all I wanted was a life of luxury. I wanted a life that was mine. I wanted a life that was for me, whatever it was that I wanted. Now, for you, this is going to look different because not everyone is Taurus energy, Libra energy, right? Like me, not everyone is like the jewelry, the traveling, the finer things in life, but everyone here has goals and things that they want to have for where their money is going to go, right? So, Breadwinner Energy came from this place of like truly as a mother and a wife and a business owner and a woman having a life for yourself. Or for some people, that means literally being the breadwinner of your family and the breadwinner between me and my husband. And for others of you, it's like, how are you living a life that is for you? How are you living a life that is what you deserve? Not what your parents told you you should do, not what your parents expect, not what your husband expects, not what society expects of you, but how are you going to live a life for yourself? And that was how Breadwinner Energy was born. Because I knew I want to make millions of dollars. I want to build actual generational wealth for my children and me and my husband's bloodline, that I want to be able to afford the things in life that I never had growing up. I want to build real experiences with my children and with my family. I want to be able to take care of people that I love. I want to be able to never have to worry about money again. And that to me was what Breadwinner Energy was. And how can I help other women embody that for themselves? Because when you truly are being you for you and you're showing up to the world as that, it's going to repay you. You're going to make money by being more unapologetic about who you are instead of trying to fit into this box of what everyone else says you should be. Now, you're business owners, which tells me that you don't want to fit into this box, but then a lot of times we'll get back into fitting into a box when we're in our business. I know for me, I built myself right back into a 9 to 5 as a virtual assistant. I was working 40 to 60 hour weeks, barely making 3 to 5K months. It was very inconsistent. It was very up and down. And I had built myself back into this 9 to 5. And I was like, well, I got into business to be at home with my kids. I got into business to be free, mentally and emotionally free, to have a freedom in my schedule, right? To do whatever I wanted. And now here I am, and I'm not free at all because I'm trading time for dollars with clients all day, all week. So to this week, this is how I said every day matters, because the intentions that we're going to put behind who we are and who we're meant to be today is what's going to lay the foundation for you to make money. Okay. You're not going to make money and a lot of money and be really successful for a lot of years to come by copy and pasting somebody else's business, by somebody else's energy. This is the thing. I am very like, no bullshit, straight to the point, in your face. When I coach, like I love you so hard and I want you to hit all of your goals. But I'm also going to tell you, you're standing in your own way. You're the problem. You're the one holding yourself back, right? That's how I coach. No one else has to implement that style of personality. If that's not your personality, don't be that way. Right? But if it is your personality, step into that. I'm here for the tough love. Me too. I'm like, I need a coach that's going to put me in my place. Tell me to quit doing that shit, right? I cannot have someone who's too soft with me. If you're too soft with me, I'll run all over you, right? But not everyone has to embody that, but you do have to embody who you are. So last year, I told you guys I had a baby in April. I had my second baby. And all of last year, I was very soft. I went soft in my coaching. I went soft in how I showed up online. And it was this whole, like, everyone was talking about like mean girl energy, right? Like if you're a mean girl, if you call people out. And so I was like, okay, I'll try this. I'll try this soft BFF vibes. Not only did I build a community of people who just saw me as like a friend and motivational and not actually an authority to buy from, also my clients had less results than ever before in all the years I've ever been in business. And I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that anymore. It doesn't feel good to me. It doesn't feel aligned to me. And my students aren't getting what I want them to get from this, and I don't feel good, and my audience isn't seeing me for who I really am. And I decided, you know what? I'm just going to be more of who I am. I cuss. I will say the F word in a coaching call. I will call you out on your shit. I will tell you when you're holding yourself back. I will ask you why you're not doing a thing. I will ask you why you're not holding yourself accountable and doing the thing that we talked about on last week's coaching call, and why you're changing your mind and not showing up. I will do that, right? But I will equally know who you are, and if you have kids and how old your kids are, and if you have a partner, if you have a husband, I will know what blocks you have. I will know why you have them. Some people, I know about their childhood, I know about their families, I know about their upbringing, because when I know this about you, I can coach you from the best place possible, and I can also love you so hard and want that for you. That is how I have embodied me, right? My brand, my trademark, who I am. But you have to embody who you are. For a lot of you, if you're at a 9 to 5, you're a mother, you're a wife, and you're also a business owner, you might have lost yourself along the way. Maybe you lost your fire and you lost your spark because you've just become mom, or you've just become someone's wife. And every day you're just doing the things and doing the tasks and taking care of everyone else but you. And so you don't even know who you are. I've gone through seasons of this. So I want to ask you all right now to put in the chat, who are you? If you take away the title of mother, and we take away the title of business owner, and we take away the title of wife, who are you at your core? What type of person are you? What do you love? What do you identify with? What are your hobbies? What do you do for you on a weekly basis? That's not for anyone else. I asked a client this last Friday and she couldn't answer me. She didn't know. She's like, I don't know, being a business owner is like what I do for myself. Okay. But then when you're doing business all day, every day, because that's the only thing that you have, that's your only outlet, you've now strangled your business and your creativity because you're holding so tightly onto your business. You're never stepping away. You're never touching grass. You're never going outside. You're never living your life and enjoying your life. So then you become stressed and you become burnt out and you become resentful. And then we don't make money. And if we do, it's very inconsistent. So who are you when you're not a business owner? A snarky nerd? Oh my God, I already love this. That wants to beg on the couch and read on my phone, eating chocolate, snuggling with my daughter. Oh, that's so sweet. I love to read. I'm super book nerd, big book nerd. I love reading. I love shopping. I love traveling. Also, people don't know this about me, but I'm very, very introverted. Online, I'm very extroverted. Like I love what I do. I absolutely love it. And this is my like real personality. But when I'm done doing this, I'm like, nobody talk to me, nobody come to my house, everyone get away from me. I'm like very, very introverted. My friends are like, they know, like if you come to my house, we've got 2 to 3 hours. After that, you gotta go. I need my own time, my own space. I need to get back in my pajamas and I need to be alone. I have to admit, I'm not sure who I am if you take away boss, wife, and mom. Isn't that crazy to like really admit that to yourself? I went through so many seasons of this. Like, I have no idea who I am. No clue. I'm just here taking care of everyone and everything. Breadwinner, right? Yeah, because that's tied to my job and taking care of people, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I love to take care of people, right? I'm still on the journey of figuring out who I am. And that's the thing is you're forever going to be on this journey. It's a never-ending journey of discovering yourself and loving yourself. When you take time every day and every week to discover who you are and who you want to be and what you like and what you love, and you do more of those things, you become more creative. You're more happy, you're more joyful. You love to go out and post content and talk to people because you're living in your best self-alignment. Versus when you're like, I have to do this. I have to show up online. I have to post a reel. I have to post a story. I have to go live. No, you don't. You can go back to 9 to 5 and you don't have to do any of that. You could be homeless. You don't have to have a business. No one's forcing you into being a business owner. And if they are, you should probably tell them. We should probably call the cops. Someone's holding you hostage, like run the business, right? No one's doing that. You have choices in your life of who you want to be. I'm an introvert, a dreamer, a creative, okay? Yeah, like tapping into your hobbies. What do you like to do? And are you actually doing the things you like to do? Are you focusing on those things? Like I love Pilates. I love doing Pilates. And I don't really like working out, but I love Pilates because it's very low impact and I don't have to like run or be sweaty. Right? So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to start going to Pilates classes. Well, it took me an hour to drive there and back. And I also have two little kids at home with me. So I was like, okay, well, I don't really have time to be traveling for Pilates. So I bought myself a reformer and put it in our gym. Right? Not everyone obviously can do that. However, my point is like, you just because you're a mom or a wife or a business owner doesn't mean you have to not do the things that you like and love. We just have to make them fit. I want to have time to take care of myself. Okay, let's talk about this. If you were to take care of yourself every single week, what would it look like? What would it look like to take care of yourself? A mindfulness practitioner, reader, introvert, and I love people watching. Oh my God, I love people watching too. It's my favorite. My office windows are like huge open windows and I can see like people in the neighborhood doing whatever. And I'm just like, I could sit here all day and just see what the neighbors are doing because I'm nosy. Simple things, having time to meal plan, go for, okay, let's talk about this. Having time to do things in your life. Why are we not making time right now? This is where the money part comes in. So often, and I did this too, I was guilty of this. Say, once I get to 6 figures, then I'm going to be confident. Once I get to 6 figures, then I'm going to meal plan. Once I get to 6 figures, then I'm going to go for walks. All of which you could do right now for free. You could choose to be confident. You could practice confidence. You could make time in your week to meal plan. You could make it a priority, and you could make it a priority to go on walks every day, every night, every morning. Let me tell you this. If I have time now to run 2 multi-6-figure businesses and be the breadwinner, and I have 2 kids at home with me because one does online school and one's a baby, and be a wife and take care of my home, you have time to go for a walk. You do. You're not making time because it's not a priority. You're waiting for more money to give you more time, and it's not going to. Because then when I made 6 figures, I still worked more and worked more and worked more and worked more because I was so afraid, what if I don't make 6 figures again? And if you don't check this right now and build habits for yourself right now, they will not change when you make more money. I can promise you they won't. A lazy introvert, when I get into the flow, I look like an extrovert. Same. I love coaching and helping people. Yes, my kind of person. Balancing corporate time with family and actually sleeping, it feels like I'd have to give up sleep or family to do that. What if you didn't think of it that way? What if you took your whole family on a walk? What if you and your partner and your kids all went on walks together? What if you made it something where you guys meal planned together? Right? Also thinking about what you do in your day-to-day life and what we could actually remove. When I was a single mom and I was building my business to 6 figures, there were things that I removed. I didn't go out with friends. I didn't go out to bars. I barely watched TV. Now, I'm not telling you don't do anything you like, right? I'm not being like, live a mundane life, live a boring life. No, but I had to make choices, right? Okay, well, if I'm going to spend time with my daughter during the day, and then if I'm going to work when she naps, then when am I going to figure in time for myself, right? Is it going to be when she goes to bed, or when she goes to bed, is that where I'm going to focus on me? And then when she naps, I'm going to focus on work, and like blocking those times, and then also creating boundaries for myself. Spend time sightseeing, sleeping. Yep. Thinking I have to do it all myself. Oh, that's another one too. Like asking for help. Yes. Okay. We're going to talk about being your highest self. So your highest version of yourself, the person that you're becoming. All my clients know what's about to come right now is the graph, my infamous graph. And then I'm going to ask you another question. Draw this picture here for you. Okay. This is your forever journey, the journey that you will forever be on from now until the rest of your days. This is where you used to be. This is where you are today, and this is where you're going. And this line forever exists. And also, this is the whole journey of where you've been and the whole journey of where you're going. This is also the person you typically help, because it's the person you used to be, and all the people who are behind where you currently are, plus like a coach or a mentor or somebody let's say me, right? I've already hit multiple six figures, so I know what's going to happen right through this journey. And we're going to talk about it this week so that you can make this amount of money. And you're always going to be an expert to somebody and not an expert to somebody else at all times of your life. We're forever living on this graph, forever and ever and always, right? So you have to remember that the journey that you're going on and the journey that you once had is going to be a part of your story. It's going to be a part of where we're going, but your higher self is who we want to tap into today. Who are you becoming? Who are you becoming? Through this journey, who are you going to become? So now I want to ask you, when you make six figures, what is going to change for you? Mentally, physically, emotionally, for who you are today, and the six-figure version of you that exists, that you're getting to. I want you to tell me in the chat, what's going to change for you? Once you're a six-figure business owner, what's that going to look like for you? And the reason this work is so important is because having the mindset and the intentions around where you're going, and the mindset and the intentions around the money and around who you're becoming, and we start implementing that into our day-to-day life, and we start showing up as her now, that's when the money comes, not before. The money doesn't come first. How many times have we said, oh, once I make this amount of money, once I get another client, then I'm going to invest? If you knew how to always make money in clients on demand, then you wouldn't need to worry about that, because you wouldn't even need to worry about the investment, because you always know how to make money in clients. But because you don't, you have to invest first to get the skills and the information and the knowledge so that you can make the money. Some people are waiting on the money to change them, waiting on the money to change your circumstances. I will work to get rid of the scarcity mindset I have around money. So you think that if you make more money, that you're never going to have scarcity mindset again about the money. Is that correct, Sarah? I know this isn't a good answer, but I feel like proof this will work. Proof. This is interesting. Let's talk about this. So many people want proof that this will work for me. But today is the day that you prove to yourself that it will work, because we don't have proof without doing the thing. So if you don't ever do it, you don't have proof. So today you get to decide to create proof for your future self. But I also want to acknowledge that all of you today thought you would wake up. Like, you didn't have a thought in your brain. You're like, oh, I know I'm going to wake up in the morning. You didn't need proof. There's no proof. There's no guarantee that you're going to wake up tomorrow. But you believed you would. How many times did you believe your partner would change, your husband would change, your boyfriend would change? You believed in him with no proof that he would, but you still believed in him. Why can you not believe in yourself the same way? You have to create the proof. And if you don't take action, you'll never create the proof. So then I also want to talk about, too, scarcity around money. Money only enhances the person that you already are. That's it. So if you have scarcity around money right now, that's going to be magnified when you make more money. You're just going to have more scarcity around money, because now you have more to lose. Right? Dang, I knew I was going to be in trouble. Yes. If you do not work on this right now, today, your thoughts and your scarcity around money, it will only get bigger. The problem will get bigger. More money will not change that for you. It won't. It will not change it at all for you. And the money beliefs that you have today are going to be what is needed to make more money. Because the beliefs that you have today about money and investing money are the reasons that you have a block within your sales, or a block with showing up, or a block with marketing or whatever it is that you're not doing, which is not bringing you money in sales. I also want to say this too. For most of you here, you're going to be charging, if not already, $1,000 or more for your offers, for your programs, whatever. And a lot of you here are not even willing to invest that amount of money in yourself. You're not willing to invest thousands of dollars in your business, in yourself, in your development, in your skills, which are also then going to repay you because now you know how to go out and do the thing, but you're expecting other people to invest that in you. It doesn't work that way, right? It's a two-way street. Okay, so becoming your higher self. Today is the day that you decide, you make a decision of the energy that you want to carry and the blocks that you have that are in between you and the person you're becoming, and they're in between you and the six-figure version of yourself. So now let's talk about money goals. Let's get a little strategic here. I want everyone to take a few minutes and decide how much money do you need to make every single month to live your life right now? How much money do you need to make every single month to afford your life? Not like guessing, like actually how much money do you need to make to afford your life? And then put it in the chat. And if you don't want to share that, you can put an emoji. Okay, 3,000, 3,000. Okay. Five, four. Sue, what do you mean after expenses? I want you to include expenses. All the money it would make that would like run your life. How much money is that? I'm getting out my calculator here. Okay. Now I want you to take that number times 2. We did double it. So if you said 3,000, we're now at 6,000. 3,500. I don't know math, so don't judge me. We're now at 7,000. Meaning business costs, so 4K. Okay. So take this number and times it by 2. So now we've doubled it. That is now your goal for the next 6 to 12 months, is to make that amount of money, $6,000 a month. And now if you take that times 12, because obviously 1 year, that means you need to make $72,000 a year, which is not even 6 figures. So I want you to see how for a lot of you, you have a 6-figure goal right now, but you really only need to make $72,000 for the year, which is also going to pay all of your living expenses, plus have room for savings, investments, and other things because we've doubled that number. So if you said $3,000 is your right now amount of money you need to survive, and then you doubled it, and $6,000 is the goal of how much money you should be making in the next 6 to 12 months, I want you to take that number times 2 again. 6,000 times 2. So now we're at $12,000 months. And that's for the next 2 years. 12,000 times 12 months is 144K. So all of you right now could be making less than 6 figures and still affording your life, paying your bills, and having extra money, but you have a 6-figure goal. Do you see how there's a disconnect between how much money you actually need to make and the goals that you have set out for yourself? I want to know in the chat, why did you come up with being a 6-figure business owner? Is it because everyone else online is? Is that what everyone else is talking about? They're talking about 10 months, they're talking about 6 figures. So you're like, that sounds great. Or is there an actual number that you have down to the penny of how much money you want and need to make based on logic, based on reason? And I also want to remind you that doing this exercise every year is good because your life will shift, right? The condo that I lived in when I first started coaching versus the 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom, brand new 3,000 square foot home I live in now, significantly different bills, right? Significantly different goals. Looks like a pretty milestone. See how we have goals that mean absolutely nothing to us? And it being pretty isn't enough motivation to change us or enough motivation to make us money. I'm thinking I need additional money than my living expenses to continue to invest in my business. Yeah. So then if you took that 3,500 or 3,000 and you doubled it, now you have the extra money and you still don't even need 6 figures, even with extra money. Because that seems to be the dream number for all entrepreneurs. Interesting. Let's see. Okay, external sign of success. Yes. Also want to make more money than my current job. I want to buy a house on the beach. Oh, me too. Build investments, buy a house, and things outside of my daily expenses. Okay. So for all of you that have these goals of traveling, buying a home, paying off debt, retirement, whatever this looks like, do you even know the actual dollar amount? Have you even looked at houses on the beach? Do you even know how much money it would cost you? What's the down payment? What would the mortgage be every month? And I mean like literally down to the dollar. And when you're that clear on how much money you need to make for this very specific thing, that is the energy that you will put behind your business and making sales and making money versus just, I don't know, it's what everyone else is doing. Sounds good to me. Right? There's a big, big difference. And so I want you guys for today or this week to get clear on your money goals and where that money is going. And if you said pay off debt, how much debt? Down to the dollar, how much debt is going to be paid off? If you said retirement accounts, how much money is going to be put in your retirement accounts every single month? How much money do you need to buy the house, to buy the car, to invest in your business? Where's all the dollars going? So this is what I like to do. I've done this exercise every year. I do it. And I write down, if I have goals, like excuse me, a car, whatever it is I want to buy, I put that on this side and then all my expenses on this side. So I know how much money do you make every month to do expenses, how much money I need to do these extra things I want to do, travel, whatever. And then how much money I want to put into savings, investment, team, taxes, all the different buckets. And I create buckets where my money's going to go. And then based on that, I get a collective dollar amount. So for this year, it's $432,500.32. That is my goal, which is going to be this much in retirement, this much in savings, this much to team, this much in my business account, etc. Right? Down to the penny. Anything above that, nice to have. Great. Love that for me. Right? But I know exactly where all the money is going to go. What do you mean by a buffer? Like if I don't make that amount of money, then
No,
what?
I mean like an extra 10% in case prices change over the next year or anything, something like that.
Oh, that's a good question. So yes and no. I put enough money in savings for, oh shit. Right, enough money in a personal savings and a business savings. So whatever happens, I can kind of account for that. And I do this like every year I do it. So I can kind of predict, right? In a year, we can kind of see like prices are increasing significantly from a few years ago, but not enough that it's going to like throw my whole scale off, if that makes sense. Yes. Oh my, I am such an open book when it comes to money, when it comes to sharing, when it comes to like what I've done, what works, what doesn't work. And we're going to get into that this week. Okay. We're going to get into what's worked and what hasn't worked and what I've seen over my years and years of service provider and courses and memberships and coaching programs that I am not afraid to tell you. Probably shouldn't start with that. Is that after doubling? Mona, can you tell me more about what you're asking? So we want to take that $3,000, which is like our survival amount, and double it to our right now goal of $6,000 a month, and then double that one again. So 6,000 is now 12,000, and that's like your longer term goal per month. But then you get to decide, like, if we're looking collectively, like if you say, okay, so I'm going to take 6,000 times 12 for the year, that's 72,000. With that 72,000, here's how I'm going to spend all of that money. And when I say spend, I don't mean literally spend it, right? So, like putting some in savings, putting some with taxes and wherever else it needs to go, but spending it as in putting it in these buckets. Now you can take 12,000 times 12, 144K, and then put that into buckets. So now we have like a worst case scenario, a good case scenario, and a best case scenario, right? But we have very good intention of where our dollars are going, okay? Okay, so this week and then here on after, I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you to get clear on your goals. I want to challenge you to get clear on the life that you want to live, how much money you want to make and why, and where it's going to go, and where you're going on this journey, like where we're going to your higher self on this journey. What do you think needs cleaned up? What do you think needs fixed and changed? And whenever we hit roadblocks in our life or our business, it's because you have not learned a lesson that has been given to you or is being given to you for a reason. And until you learn the lesson, things will not change for you. So one of the biggest lessons that I had last year that came full circle for me was two, actually. One was taxes, having a $30,000 tax bill, and because I didn't pay into quarterly taxes. And then the other one was sales. So throughout my years in business, I had obviously made sales in a number of different ways. And I always felt like I didn't like have the method, right? Like the thing. Like I was seeing all these other coaches make hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars online, and it seemed so easy for them. And it was so hard for me to make sales. And it wasn't until I had this full circle moment of the lessons that I needed to learn in order to get to it being easy for me. So I realized then I need to be better about when money comes in, putting it in buckets. I learned this the hard way last year. Putting it in buckets, paying into quarterly taxes, paying ahead, and having this balancing act between saving and spending, because money is energy, right? Money is energy. So you have to have the balancing act of saving and spending in order for it to continue this flow. And I had to learn that. But I also had to learn I actually do know how to make sales, and it actually is really easy for me. I have ran live events like this, challenges, 5-day events, whatever, since May of 2021. That was when my first ever event. And every time I've done them, I've made money. And I'm not like a little bit of money, like $30,000 to $50,000 from doing events like this every time. But then I would go out and do other things that other coaches were doing or other people were doing to make money in sales. And it did not work for me. And it was hard and it was frustrating. And I was like, why is it not working? Why is it not working? Now I've done other things and I do know other things. But for the longest time in my service-based business, I was relying on referrals to make money and word of mouth. AKA putting my power of sales into somebody else's hands and just waiting for sales, or posting on social media and just waiting for people to pay me, instead of knowing how to go out there and make the money myself. And it wasn't until I sat back and said, oh, all I have to do is show up and do the thing I love to do. All I have to do is invite people to come sit with me in a room for a day, 3 days, 5 days, and teach them the things that I know, and then I can make money from it. And it gets to be that easy and it gets to be that fun. Oh, well, that is easy, right? So then after I do that, I come off maternity leave, I do an event, I make $50,000. I do another 6-week event, I come off that event, I sign 4 clients. Well, why wasn't I just doing this the whole time? Because I wasn't learning the lesson of, oh, you actually do know what to do. Just keep doing that thing. Stop trying to go out and look for the new things and the new strategies. Just do what you've always done and you know how to do. And I'm going to teach you those things this week.